For demo network configuration, so first the server will set our network. The first selector we use NAT, and the second one we use the network. And at the client, for the first selector we use internet network, and make sure the name same with the server one. And here I check the IP using the IPA, and then we edit the network configuration file using the command sudo etc interfaces network interfaces. So here is our IP. We use static IP. Our address is 192.168.10.1. Then we do the same thing at the client. We edit the network configuration file using the same command. So another PC network interfaces. Here is our IP. We use the same one, static IP. And address, our address is 192.168.10.2. So the difference between static IP and dynamic IP. For static IP, it is an IP address that is manually configured by a network administrator. And once assigned, the IP address remains the same unless it is changed manually. Because the IP is fixed, device can always be found at the same location on the network. For example, in our project, our server uses the static IP address 192.168.10.1. So this allows client to consistently connect to services such as DHCP, SFTP, web server, and the database. And on the other hand, for dynamic IP address, it is assigned automatically by a DHCP server. And the device does not need to be configured manually. And when the device joins the network, the DHCP server provides the available IP address, which may change in the future. Example we use for static IP, for example, servers, printers, routers, CCTV systems, and databases. And for the dynamic IP, basically PCs, laptops, smartphones, or tablets. Okay, we continue with our demo. Here I ping the client to the server. Client ping server's IP 192.168.10.1. And for the server, we ping the client's IP, which is 192.168.10.2.
We start with the slide 1, which is the introduction of DHCP. The DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It ultimately provides IP configuration to client machine, including IP address, subnet mask, list time, DNS server, and gateway information. In this project, DHCP is important because the Linux client receives its IP address ultimately from the Linux server instead of being configured manually. The DHCP server will run on the Linux server internal interface only. The DHCP push start at 192.168.1.5 and ends at 192.168.1.1.10. The server address 192.168.1.254 is not included in the range because it is a static address used by the server. Okay, the next we move to the next slide, which is the usage of DHCP. So beyond the daily life, so DHCP is used everywhere, which is we can use example, which is the home Wi-Fi network. Your home router act a DHCP server, automatically handing out the private IP address to your smartphone, smart TV, tablet, and the laptop as you connect. So the second example that we can use is a office enterprise network. In the large workplace, DHCP allows employees to seamlessly connect their laptop or phones to the corporate network without IT intervention, preventing duplicate IP address conflict. So we move to the next slide, which is the server install the DHCP server package. So on this slide, I run the sudo apt update followed by sudo apt install to install the DHCP server software. So the next slide, which is the configure a static IP. Before the server can hand out list, I need to fix IP itself. The DHCP server can run on the dynamic address. So I configure the source, the etc network interface. I configure the ANP OS3 to use the DHCP for internet access, and ANP OS8, the internet interface facing the client, as static with address 192.168.1.254 and netmask 255.255.255.0. So next to verify the interface, running a IPA confirm ENP OS8 is correctly set to 192.168.1.254. When I try to manually read at the same address, it return address already assigned, which actually confirm the static configuration from the interface file had already taken effect. So we move to the next slide. This slide is to confirm the service is running. To verify the DHCP service was active, I ran a sudo systemctl and the output show active running with the DHCP process bound specifically to ENP OS8. So means that the service is running. So next slide, which is about the client before getting a list. On the client side, before requesting a list, an IPA show ENP OS3 holding a IP address, which is mean the client has not yet received a DHCP list itself, because no DHCP server had responded yet. The next slide is installation for DHCP client tools. To properly request the managed list, I install the client side package sudo apt install the client version. So this provide the client package, the standard tool for requesting, releasing and renewing list. The next slide about the client request and receive a list. I brought the interface down and back up, then requested a list. The log show the client soliciting a DHCP list, briefly falling back to link local, then successfully resolving. The running IPA show ENP OS3 afterward, confirm the client now hold an IP address marked as a dynamic with a valid list time, proving it was assigned by DHCP, not set manually. And we ping the IP address to the server, then succeed, confirming the client and server can communicate. So this slide cover the testing at client and correct IP address for client together. So the last slide about the release and renew the list. So about this slide, finally to demonstrate the full list cycle, I release and renew the IP using the correct client command, which is the sudo dhcpd to release a current list, followed by the sudo dhcpd enp os3. This shows the DHCP process working end to end, not just the first connection but also on renewal. So that's all. Thank you.
Alright, Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Saya Muhammad Pengarit. Ini part saya SFTP. So dalam video demo untuk bahagian SFTP. So first of all, untuk server kita kena download dulu SSH. Okay, so sudah apt install on SSH and then kita start and enable SSH. Okay, kemudian kita isi password dan dia akan download. Okay, next kita create user untuk SFTP. So sudah user FTP, so make directory and then okay, letak dekat situ sini SFTP user and then pivot, kemudian permission 95, so maksudnya dia execute dan juga read. Okay, seterusnya okay, masih lagi dalam server, kita letak okay. Ini kita create for restriction untuk SFTP user sahaja yang boleh access. Okay, kemudian kita restart tadi. Okay, seterusnya dekat client ini kita check IP address. Okay, seterusnya okay, kita tengok status. Okay, sekarang time ni dia tengah running, so masih dah okay. Okay, then okay, kita create file, iaitu nama file adalah touch-test-file.txt. okay, test-file.txt. okay, touch, okay, kita create and then kemudian kita open test file tersebut. Okay, and then kita letak isilah. Okay, dan mesti letak hello. Okay, so seterusnya okay, ni kita check balik sama ada ke tak file tu. Okay, begitu get test file. Okay, and then dia keluar lah hello. Okay, sini. Okay, seterusnya kita connect dengan server, iaitu SFTP student 1. Okay, ni IP address. Okay, jadi connect, dapat masuk ke SFTP. Okay, tadi kita pilih file and then kita upload. Okay, so berjaya. Seterusnya kita cari dekat server. Okey, TLS text file. Kita tengok ada tak file dia. Kat sini dah ada, tulis text file. Seterusnya okey, kita buka cat text file.txt. okey, kat sini tulis ada hello. Okey, itu sahaja.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nur Iman bin Muhammad Nasrun, and I will be presenting about web server. What is the usage of web server? The main usage of a web server is web hosting, which means keeping websites online so anyone in the world can access them at any time. It acts as a permanent digital storage unit for all the files, images, and code that make up a website, constantly waiting for a user to type in a URL. When someone requests that website, the web server instantly fetches those files and delivers them to the user screen, making it the essential backbone that allows the entire internet to function. How testing is being done? Step 1. Open Firefox on client. Step 2. Enter URL, and this web page will display. How to design a web page? Step 1. Type this on server. Step 2. Open Nano Text Editor and create a custom simple web page.
So here I want to present for the database demo. So what is the usage of database? Database function as a centralized storage system that stores, organize and manage and retrieve data efficiently. It allows users and applications to insert, update, delete and retrieve information while ensuring data security and integrity. In this project, the database server uses MariaDB to maintain structured information in tables. It allows users and applications to perform operations such as inserting new reports, updating existing data, deleting unwanted information, and retrieving specific data through SQL queries. So, for the demo for server, first we need to install the MariaDB server. Then we need to secure the MariaDB installation. There are going to be like some question, set a root password, remove anonymous user, remove the test database, and then confirm the security configuration. And then after that we need to log into MariaDB. Then we create a user and a database. So here our database is bakso 1213DB. Then create a table and insert sample data. For our table, there's gonna be name, student ID, and department. So it's just our members group names. And then after that, we need to configure the MariaDB network. So here first we need to open the MariaDB configuration file, and then we need to locate the bind address, change it to 0000, and then we need to verify the configuration file. Then for client, first we need to verify MariaDB is running or not, and then check the network connectivity between client and server. We log in as the user, connect it remotely, and then enter the user's password, then verify the database and table. So we select from students to view the table content. If we get it, then meaning the client can connect with the server. and then we try to insert new records. Here we insert Natra, and then student ID, and then the department, and then we try to delete back the record. So then
If the DHCP server is down, new client cannot automatically obtain an IP address. Existing client may continue using their current IP address until the lease expires. Once the lease expires, they will not be able to renew it and may lose the network connectivity. An IP lease time is the duration for which a DHCP server assigns an IP address to a client. After the lease period ends, the client must renew the lease to continue using the same IP address or obtain a new one.
SFTP use port 22 because it operates through the SSH, which is a secure shell protocol. Since SSH default communication port is 22, SFTP also use port 22 for secure file transfer. SSH secure shell is a secure network protocol used to remotely access and manage system over network. It encrypts all communication between the client and server, protecting data from unauthorized access.
HTTP transfers data between a web browser and a web server without encryption. HTTPS encrypts the data using SSL TLS certificates, making communication more secure and protecting sensitive information. Apache uses port 80 for HTTP connection and port 443 for HTTPS.
A database is a collection of related data organized for easy access and management. A table is a structure inside the database that stores data in rows and columns. Primary keys are used to uniquely identify each record in a table. They prevent duplicate records and help maintain data integrity. Primary keys also make it easier to search, update and relate data between different tables.